Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/Am I the Borthole? First story coming up is a cheating story. Yay! So if that sounds like something you'd like to unpack with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Words feel hard today. I definitely said subscribe wrong. Oh well. So, first post, am I the borthole for telling my in-laws we're getting divorced because my wife cheated on me since they thought I was leaving her because of her weight? My goodness. Hell of a title. I, 35M, thought I was getting everything I ever wanted with my wife, 35F, when we were in our late 20s. I truly love her both when she was thin and now that she's plus-sized. She became plus-sized during her pregnancy and I was still hot for her. But she hated her new body and she felt ugly despite all my compliments. Honestly, I can relate. Over the years, she gained more weight and felt worse about herself. More recently, she cheated on me. Okay, sympathies have gone out the window. She had felt so low about herself, she wanted to see if men who didn't have to love her would find her sexy. I think that's a cover-up for she's a terrible person. I didn't have to love her because we have a child together. I love her because she's her. We're getting a divorce and I wanted the process to be peaceful. But my in-laws, especially my mother-in-law, 57F, were giving me hell because they thought I was this shallow jerk who was leaving his wife because she gained weight during pregnancy. I was confronted by her parents. Again, I told them the truth. Now my in-laws are giving my wife hell and she's miserable. I don't want her to be miserable. Why? Why not? I just wanted my in-laws off my case. Am I the butthole? No! Oh my god, I'd be fuming if I was this OP and this woman was trying to make me out to be the bad guy when she's literally been, bumping uglies with all and sundry just because her excuse, anyway, is because she was struggling with her confidence, which makes no sense because I don't think I know anyone who's got like body hang-ups and struggles really bad with their confidence to the point that they feel like their husband wouldn't love them, that would then want to be seen by a bunch of other guys. She's clearly talking out of her bumhole. If you don't want people to know you are a terrible person, don't do terrible people things and don't be a terrible person. It's so simple, and it concerns me that so many of society do not seem to understand it. So, down in the comments, Catfish1960 says, no, you are not the butthole. Your wife is, though. She lied to her parents about why the marriage ended. Instead of getting the therapy she obviously needs, she chose to cheat. And again, I think the excuse she used is bullcrap. I think she's just a terrible person. And then Electronic Air 2913 says, if she didn't want her family to know, she shouldn't have used you as a scapegoat. And then TRN04 says, if she didn't want people to know about it, she shouldn't have done it. Not the butthole. Exactly. That is just the consequences of her actions. Oh no. Don't you just love it when that happens? Next post, absolutely not suitable for work. Okay? Not suitable for anyone under 18. Not that anyone under 18 should be here anyway, because I very much don't think that my little corner of the internet is suitable for that. So just putting that out there. But yeah, perhaps listen to this one with headphones on if you are in a public place or at work. Am I the butthole for asking husband to shower before oral pleasurals? Ew. Am I the butthole for asking my husband to shower, second shower of the day, before I give him oral pleasurals? No. Like, I don't even need to read the rest of this to tell you that no, you're not the butthole. Like, ew. Wash your ween if you want someone to do that. Context, he showers in the morning. Our schedules usually align at night, and that's when we do the deed. He walked the dog after work, and since I know he wants oral pleasurals, I asked him to shower. He jokingly asked, "Why the stipulations? You used to always do that after we'd been at the bar all night, etc." And he's right, but that's when we were young and drunk. I just told him it's more pleasurable for me if he's clean. This is giving me that horrible, like, acid feeling, like bile. Just thinking of the fact that he doesn't want to wash it and then he's asking for that. Good sir. He has good hygiene, but after 12 hours and walking the dog, it's bound it's bound to be a little funky. Edit, I shower twice a day because I like going to work and bed clean, so not an issue on my end. Edit, this isn't a joke. Simply wanting to know if my request is unreasonable. I don't ask him to shower every time. Sometimes he's already showered beforehand. But I have asked him to shower a few times, and his response has always been that he didn't sweat and showered earlier in the day. Excuse me, your little member has been shoved in a dark, sweaty fabric cage all day. You need to wash it before making such requests. I never want to make him do anything or give him an ultimatum, but the comments were definitely helpful for both of us. I really hope that our good friend here washes his weenie before he next asks for that. What is the world coming to? Oh my goodness. It's like that whole argument again, isn't it? Fellas, is it unmanly to wipe your ass? Get all the way out. I've just remembered my windows are open and I've been shouting about some man's unwashed weenus. Oops. So, down in the comments, MJH Jane 77 says, "My husband would live in the shower if he thought he'd get more oral pleasurals." And then My Cat Party House says, "I am laughing out loud right now. I've known men like this. Yeah, I've known blokes that just don't wash enough. I am traumatized." And then Baxter Beans Murphy says, replying, because, yeah, I'm not going to give my partner a hot dog from the gym floor full of sweat. Oh my God. She gets one fresh out the steamer. My goodness. And then Dragon Rider 60 just put a load of laughing emojis and said, "Me standing at a very popular bus stop, laughing uncontrollably." It's one of those videos today where I slowly lose my sanity. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, am I the butthole for giving my pregnant girlfriend an ultimatum? Post, my girlfriend Jen and I have been together for 4 years. Back in April, 2 great things happened. We found out Jen is pregnant, and I closed on a house for us to move into. Our family and friends know about the pregnancy, including Jen's best friend, Amanda. I will admit, I never liked the dynamic between Amanda and Jen, but it did not really affect our relationship since Amanda lived across the country. After finding out about the pregnancy, Amanda decided to move back home. We live in Jen and Amanda's hometown. Amanda has been back since late May and all hell has broke loose. Jen has always felt a little self-conscious in our relationship. I work construction and do personal training. She feels intimidated by small girls, but I have no idea why. She is a sexy AF woman with amazing curves. Amanda has done nothing but played into Jen's insecurities and anxieties since being back. Jen and I have never been the tracking location couple or looking through phones couple. We always considered that a red flag in a relationship. Amanda has convinced Jen that she needs to start doing that. Oh, Amanda sounds like a proper weirdo. So, she's been looking through my phone on a regular and finding nothing. I have communicated my hurt and frustration and that I think she needs to distance herself from Amanda. She kept rebuffing my concerns. Yeah, and the problem is here that if you go, "Oh, I think Amanda's putting stuff in your head and I don't think Amanda's very good for our relationship and I'd like you to take a step back from her," then Amanda's going to be like, "Oh, he would say that because I'm the one, like, out in all his lies." Do you know what I mean? And if Jen's already in too deep, it's going to be pretty hard to convince her otherwise. About 2 weeks ago, Jen again asked to look through my phone. I told her in no uncertain terms that this will be the last time she looks through my phone. If she again sees nothing suspicious, then she needs to agree to go to counselling and distance herself from Amanda. She agreed, looked through my phone, and found nothing suspicious, but she soon reneged on her promise to do counselling and distancing herself from Amanda. Reneged. That's a word I have not heard before. Google, come here. I need to know if I'm saying it right now. Right, where is it? Where's Google? Google! Come on now. Outie, come on. Oh, my phone is so slow. What? Oh, how to say reneged. How to pronounce, okay, I didn't say it anywhere near right. Wow. Reneged. I decided to move out. We are currently on a month-to-month lease in an apartment until renovations get done on the house I bought. I am staying with a friend until the house is ready, and then I will move in alone. Jen has asked me to reconsider. I refuse. She will likely need to move in with her mother, which is not ideal given the limited space, which I feel terrible about for my child. Am I the butthole? No. I honestly, living and dealing with someone on the daily who's constantly and basically accusing you of doing stuff you haven't done, and there is no proof you've done, you've handed over your phone, you've shown time and time again, look, I ain't up to anything. And then she's got this weirdo Amanda whittering in her ear, and she's taking her word over yours. And it's just, no. I think, yeah, Jen needs to get rid of Amanda because Amanda sounds toxic as hell. And then, yeah, she needs to go to therapy to get her issues dealt with. Honestly, there's nothing like being constantly accused of doing stuff you know you haven't done. It's so irritating and infuriating and just like soul destroying as well. Like, it's not fun. Edit 1. I am fully aware that Jen has raging hormones. Trust me, I was dealing with a lot more than just her insistence on searching my phone constantly. Yeah, she might have raging hormones, but she should have an individual brain, you know? And not just listen to everything. You can't put everything to hormones. You know, we don't get pregnant and then become as dim as frigging toddlers. So, no, I will not take that as an excuse for her behaviour. 2, I have been doing individual counselling for 6 years. I want to do couples counselling and Jen to do individual counselling. 3, I left because Jen lied to me. So, down in the comments, Glinda the Witch says, tell her the counselling is still on the table, but don't live together until you get to a point where she trusts you and ditches her friend. Yeah, I think that's a suitable and reasonable thing to do, especially when you've got a kid on the way. It would be a shame to let this friend come in and just basically throw a grenade into your relationship and let it all burn down. You know, if part of me would just be like, I want to try and fix this just to give Amanda a big middle finger. But, you know, don't take my advice on that because that's just me being petty and stubborn. And then Sophia Phoenix says, absolutely, when she's ready to follow through on her promise, then discussions for moving forward can start. Otherwise, she'll just keep lying to you. And then Beth21286 says, she's putting this witch before the father of her child and her relationship. Amanda needs to go. Permanently. Next post, am I the butthole for showing no sympathy for my brother and my soon-to-be ex-wife after the loss of their baby and for refusing to let my parents talk to me about it? I'm getting divorced from my wife, and I'll call her my wife in the post for clarity, of a decade. We have 3 kids together, 2 school-aged and 1 preschool-aged child. The last 2 years of our marriage were rough, and I had no idea why. She pretended things were all good when talking to me, but complained about me to her family and friends non-stop. When I told her she could talk to me, she was saying her family and friends were just trying to stir some crap, and she wouldn't say I was lazy, and I ignored her, which was a lot of what I was told. She said we'd get back to normal once all 3 kids were in school and we had more time for us. Then I found out that she was having an affair with my brother. I found out via his ex-girlfriend, who sent a photo of them kissing outside my brother's place. Oh my god, this just gets even more twisty. An ex-girlfriend sent you that? Okay. He broke up with her before the affair was revealed, but he said a lot of crap about her and how she was paranoid and didn't trust him, and she was proven to be right. Wait, I'm figuring this out. The cogs are whirring. Okay, give me a minute. So the wife, who is having an affair with the brother, is complaining to the brother that she doesn't trust him. She's the one having an affair. I'm pretty sure there's a saying about the pot and the kettle in there somewhere, my love. Are you serious? Oh my god. People never fail to astound me. When my wife said she was pregnant, I knew the baby was my brother's, and there was zero way for me to be the father. She tried to tell everyone she didn't know, but the 3 of us knew. She knew we hadn't had S in years. She was using the baby to try and make me more agreeable, but I told her our marriage was over, and I filed for divorce. She moved in with my brother and tried to take the kids, but I stopped her because he lives 2.5 hours away and our school-age kids were not going to be able to make a 3-hour each-way drive to school. Temporary custody was granted to me, with visitations being granted to her. My parents were shocked and angry at my brother when I told them. He tried giving me crap for making them go after him and her when she was pregnant. What is it with these people unable to take accountability for their own actions? Like, if people are coming after you because something that you did that was shitey, why are you surprised? I muted him because I didn't want to hear the BS, but also wanted to make sure everything in the divorce and custody went smoothly, and I hope to maintain primary custody, so I'll need to show they are better off with me. My parents did end up accepting them as a couple. I said I could understand them not giving up a child and a grandchild, but I don't want to hear about them. They said they respected this. A few weeks ago, my wife had a stillborn baby. She and my brother blamed me for all the stress I put her under. She said being apart from our kids as much as she is was the biggest cause of her miscarriage, and she sent a lot of vile texts and I replied to none of them. He also sent a number of them, which I documented with hers. They have some friggin' nerve to try and blame the OP. What happened was awful, yeah, but if anyone's to blame for the stress they're under, it is themselves and their own stupid actions. My parents came over to tell me about what happened and were shocked that I knew. They asked what I had said to my brother and wife. I told them nothing. I said I wasn't going to offer any sympathy to either of them after they did the dirty on me and effed up mine and my kids' lives. My parents tried to talk about the loss and the baby and everything surrounding it, but I shut it down and I told them that I was not going to be their shoulder to cry on or listening ear. I said my wish not to hear anything about my brother or wife had not changed because they lost a baby. They left my house angry and it took a couple of weeks for them to reach out again. They asked if I would be so rude to them again, and I said if they tried to talk about this, then yes. They asked if I had reached out to my brother and wife, and I said no. They told me that they had hoped to see me at the service, and I told them it wouldn't happen. They said I didn't need to become such a cold-hearted monster, and times like these is where you put away the hate. I don't agree, but I'm willing to entertain that maybe I'm wrong. Am I the butthole? No, you don't need to have any part in this. They've already got the support of your parents, apparently, and also, your parents don't need to be talking to you about it. I'm sure they have many friends that they can lean on if they need someone to talk to about it. You're grieving in your own way as well for something, and they're not considering your feelings. Like, they just want you to all of a sudden go and pat your brother on his back and say they're there after he knocked your wife up. Like, come on. So down in the comments, HMU now says definitely not the butthole. They did you dirty, then expect you to show sympathy. Like, dude, you are my brother and you are sleeping with my wife. What the F? Exactly. And then the OP replies, I'm not sure if my brother and wife expected sympathy, but I was supposed to be sunshine and rainbows with them, so there was no stress. And I was meant to give her what she wants because she was pregnant. My parents expecting me to be there for those two is the real crazy, because I already knew my wife and brother were entitled, but my parents are disrespecting me too with that expectation. And then Icy Wheel says, the stress was caused by their own behaviour. Precisely what I said. They knew they were wrong and tried to normalise things to make themselves feel better. Your parents' conflicted behaviour may have been understandable. That was not a reason to try to pull you into what happened after you removed yourself from the drama. My advice would be to tell your parents that they need to see a therapist who understand that making your brother the victim will result in permanent estrangement. Yeah, definitely. Again, I'm sure they have plenty of other people they can talk to about it. Why do they need to darken OP's doorway with this drama? And then the OP says, I agree. I have been as understanding as I can of my parents and their inner conflict over this, because it's son versus son. But to put it on me to be there for the brother who betrayed me and helped destroy the family of my children is something I cannot be as forgiving of. And then Gumby Grown Up says, nor should you be. F 'em, good luck to you. I'm sorry this is happening, and I hope you seek therapy or counselling. Not for their sake, but I know this kind of thing can turn someone cold. But your kids don't need that from you. Just don't let it carry over, you know? You sound like a good dad, but I think having a third party to vent to would be good, since your family sucks ass at this point. Yeah, exactly. I think the OP could do with the therapy just to stop them from, becoming jaded by it all and thinking that everyone's going to be the same, because, those doubts very quickly creep in. Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you listened all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, I would appreciate you even more, and that is your initiation into the Cult of Void. Welcome! Whatever it is you do for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!